Really is astonishing how much these things right here saves us, me and Carolyn. And this little piece of property, a little acre and a half. I guess that's all coming to an end. The only news that I get from YouTube. I don't have a TV. Carolyn and I watch old episodes, reruns of old shows on Netflix. Well, we don't even have Netflix anymore. We use Prime. And the only reason we use Prime, I guess, is because we already pay for Prime so we can get Amazon packages for free delivery, I guess. It's all our news comes from YouTube, and of course, you know, we have the regular media on YouTube, all the 3-letter media stations just like everybody else, and I mean, they're all biased, they're all skewed information. It really isn't useful information. And the thing is, when you watch the cable news networks, the only thing you really hear all day long is commentators' opinions. Some event will happen and some commentator come in and spend 20 minutes, well, maybe not that long, 5 minutes talking about it. And you're like, well, okay, what about the event? You only spent 30 seconds on the event. So I don't even like that news too much. So then I'm told we have to watch independent newsmakers on YouTube. And I kind of agree with that. There's one I've watched for years, absolutely years. Probably 2012, maybe 2011. I really like him, but he's even getting kind of, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's me changing or if it's them changing. It's all I have, so I watched it the best I can. Now, of course, I watch a lot of prepping channels, and prepping channels, well, even now off-grid channels are starting to do it. I try to stay away from it as much as possible, but they've turned into news channels. So they tell you what's going on in the world, and I tell you, I didn't realize how bad it was until I sat down and thought about it today. Now, like I said, I know that I'm pretty safe from all these events because I live right here in this little piece of property with solar panels and a well, some chickens, and so I'm immune from it. It's really incredible. So since the presidential election, the last one, we've been, I guess, in a civil war in Colorado. I guess it's still going on. I haven't heard anything else since it broke out. Now that happened just recently, the Colorado Civil War. Of course, you guys would know better than I would. I don't really know, but let's see. It broke out when they took the Republican candidate off the ballot. So civil war broke out there. Again, I haven't heard anything about it. It broke out in New York a while back, and I'm not really sure what happened in New York. They did something. So civil war broke out there. Of course, California, civil war breaks out every day. Of course, it's a pretty big state, so I assume it's just happening in different parts of the state. But they always do something that upsets somebody, so we got a civil war here. Now, I do believe that Texas has seceded from the United States. I heard that happened. I don't even know if that was a civil war. I think they just did it, and the United States was like, okay, go. We don't want you. So that happened, I guess, a couple years ago. It's pretty catastrophic. Now, I also know that we have been in World War III almost from the get-go. So the first outbreak of World War III happened in Europe when one big country attacked a little country. That was the start of World War III. And I don't know, I'm not sure if we sent troops or I'm not really sure what happened there, but World War III, and of course we've been struck by nuclear bombs since then, maybe half a dozen times. I do know that New York was doing commercials on how to protect yourself from radiation after the bombs hit. So then what was surprising to me, and I didn't understand this, I thought we were already in World War III, but then when the Middle East got into conflict just recently, what, a year ago, we got into another World War III. I just assumed that would have been World War IV, but it was World War III Part 2? I don't know. And again, we had concerns about nuclear weapons. And I don't know if we were really struck by nuclear weapons, but I'm assuming so, since I didn't hear anything about it. I assume that people were wiped out and we aren't able to talk about it. I don't know, again, I'm pretty protected here, so it's hard to say. And then we had World War III with a big Asian country. They're trying to take over a little Asian country, a little one. And I don't even understand this, how we started World War III or got into World War III with the big Asian country, because it's my understanding that they didn't actually take the little Asian country or attack it or anything. So not sure what happened there, but if we do know that once we enter into that realm, I mean, of course, we got 2 other wars that we're dealing with, that we will instantly be slaughtered by the big Asian country. Our military is much smaller, although when I Googled it, I didn't see the numbers like I was told. I mean, for example, I was told that the big Asian country has more aircraft carriers than we do, which isn't even close. They have like, you know, this was a few weeks ago when I looked it up. They have like 2 aircraft carriers, we have like 12. So I know my math is pretty bad, I recognize that, but I always thought the number 12 was bigger than the number 2, but no. So we're gonna get wiped out. Our aircraft carriers will be taken out almost instantly. And again, the same thing with submarines. I was told they had like millions of submarines, and they don't. We outnumber them on submarines just astronomically. But anyway, so I guess maybe what happened, and I don't know, their aircraft carriers, their 2 aircraft carriers wiped all ours out, so we don't have any. Maybe that's what happened. But I do know it's pretty catastrophic. And then we had this balloon go over the United States from the same Asian country that wiped out Alaska. I'm trying to remember, but it dropped bombs on Alaska. I'm not sure about Alaska. I might be mistaken there. But definitely Montana. So Montana is wiped off the face of the earth. There is no Montana. And I really feel bad for everybody in Montana. That had been catastrophic. I mean, I don't know how many people live in Montana, but whew. So Montana's gone. And then we waited until the balloon left the United States, was out in the ocean before we shot it down. Now, it's my understanding that our president was hoping that it would wipe out every state in its path. That's what I understood. I don't know if that happened or not. I guess it did. I guess they wiped out every state in its path, and then we waited until it got out to the ocean. Catastrophic. It's just, wow. And then we had what's called an EMT, electrical magnetic pulse device, that was sent over, again, by the Asians. And the Asians blew this up in our atmosphere and knocked out our entire electrical grid. Again, I'm on solar panels, so I have no idea. Occasionally I get gasoline from the gas station. They still got electric. I'm not sure how they do it, but they got some electric. Maybe they have solar panels too, and I just don't know where they're at. Maybe they're on the roof. Now, I was a little bit fortunate there. I have a metal shed that surrounds all my electrical equipment, so my charge controllers and my inverters and batteries. So when I shut the doors on that, I don't even get a cell phone signal there. Now, the solar panels are not affected by EMP, whatever you want to call them, devices. So I lucked out there just in the nick of time too, because I just got the shed last year. Carolyn actually did it. I didn't do anything to it. She put all that together. So I thanked her for that. And then we've had, I do believe, several comets and asteroids, big asteroids, hit the planet. And I think we have another one coming, or it's already here, or it already hit, just like since the solar eclipse. I think it's called the Devil's asteroid or Devil's comet. So I guess it hit the planet and wiped out the moon. Now, I still see the moon at night. So again, I'm pretty protected. My solar panels keep me pretty protected. It's kind of like I'm in a time loop that I don't really see these things. What else? There was, oh, yeah, I forgot about this one. The military came around everywhere but my place and took everybody's firearms, which I find interesting. I'm not really sure how this works. How are we in a civil war if no one has firearms? Are they fighting with swords? Apparently a bunch of red state people went over to Colorado with their swords to attack Colorado. The news is really sketchy on YouTube, so I don't get it. Obviously, I'm being a little bit sarcastic. But this is just the way these preppers are, and it amazes me how many views these guys get. They do nothing but fear. I saw another one today, World War III. Well, how are we in World War III? We just got out of World War III. We're still in World War III. I remember because I had a new channel. I made a new channel the same time that the big country in Europe attacked the little country in Europe. I can't say it anymore because YouTube bans us from talking about it. So I had a new channel, and it was a parody channel, a joke channel, funny channel, and I was making fun of this notion that we were in World War III. 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I started that channel, maybe 2, I don't know. But it's been a while. So what I don't understand is all these people come to these channels every day with lots of views. They give them lots and lots of views and believe the same story day after day after day after day. That whatever this administration is doing, and don't get me wrong, I do not support this administration at all. But whatever this administration does is leading us into a civil war. We're going to die from civil war. What I find very interesting is the closer we get to this next election, we are pretty sure, I'm sure that most of the country has made the observation that the Republican candidate will be president of the United States again. And so are ramping up their fear. Now, I said this in yesterday's video. They want something bad to happen. They have to have something bad to happen. Well, first of all, they've made all these predictions that civil war is going to happen, and they blame the administration, and World War III is going to happen. They blame the administration. You know, everything I just said, they blame the administration. Well, the administration is coming to an end, and none of their predictions have come true. None of them. There isn't one. Now, there is one thing that I've cautioned about. That is the possibility of a depression. There's always a risk of a depression, always. And the only reason I caution for a depression is it's happened before. It's happened several times before. So there's no reason to believe it's not going to happen again, but it's not something that you have to fear all the time. People survived the depression back then, especially people in the rural areas. So it's not the end of the world. It's just going to be really hard. These prepping channels are ramping up their fear mongering as much as they can. And the reason they're doing it is what I said in yesterday's video. They need, they want, they desire, they crave, like an addiction, something goes wrong, so we have SHTF. They have to have it. Well, this administration is getting ready to wrap up. They see it coming. So they're panicked that nothing's happened. They prayed to the gods that something bad happens, and nothing happened. Then they got to go another 4 years with a president that they like, that they feel like will turn everything around, so they won't have anything going bad in their lives. Everything will be going well for them. How can they use their toys that they bought and their preps and their stockpiles if everything's fine? They've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on something bad happened and nothing happened. It's like investing in the market. You just know the stock is going to skyrocket. You just know it, so you put all your money in there and it doesn't budge. So every day you get up praying, please skyrocket, please skyrocket, and it doesn't. Well, that's what they've done. They've invested everything they have into this, and it didn't happen. They are panicked. So they get on YouTube and they try to scare you. I wonder sometimes, are they actually trying to cause something bad to happen? Are they trying to get the viewers to get something bad to happen? Whoa, civil war just broke out in Colorado. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to get everybody from the red states to go over to Colorado? It's dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is because they're convincing people somehow or another, I don't know how, that you have to be afraid and you have to be protected and you have to spend all your money on preps. And of course, they always have that link down below so you can buy whatever solar generator they're selling this week. The reason they need it is because their life depends on it. Their marriage depends on it. Everything depends on something bad happening. I mean, think about it. You've spent thousands of dollars and your wife's like, nah, maybe we should put that money in the stock market. No, we can't put it in the stock market. Maybe we should put it in the bank. No, the banks are going to crash. And so you've convinced your wife that something's going to happen and nothing happens. And your wife's like, the election's almost here and nothing's happened and you've made me give up everything for the last 4 years. They're panicked. If you are worried about something bad happening, just become more self-reliant. Minimize your stuff. Don't buy more stuff. Minimize. Be free. Be free of the fear, free of the government. Just be free. So if I can inspire you to not believe, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.